show you a card using our new Flower Shop stamp set, as well as the Pansy Punch that coordinates with it. There are several new bundles of product in this catalog, and you need to make sure you watch out for them because you're going to save 15% if you order the bundle. So on page 95 of our catalog, you'll see Bundle and Save, Flower Shop Bundle. You get the stamp set and the punch together, saving 15%. The item numbers and prices are right here. So this is the stamp set. There's 6 different flowers and they all coordinate with that punch. And we're going to go ahead and get started. This is an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of crumb cake cardstock. I'm matching up the corners and then I'll use my bone folder to get a good crisp fold. The next thing I'm going to do is take some of our new Pear Pizzazz chevron ribbon and I'm going to measure out 5.5 inches of this. So I'm going to use my grid paper that I have here with the ruler on it and just set my scissors right on there for 5.5. And then I'll start by just attaching that to the cardstock. You could certainly measure out the center if you wanted to. I'm going to estimate here where that center is and I'll just line my ribbon up. Looks like I cut just a tiny bit extra, so I'll press that down into the adhesive and then just use the scissors again quick to trim off my ends. Okay, so now the fun part. With the flowers, what we're going to do is use some Calypso Coral cardstock as well as Calypso Coral ink. And I'm going to ink up the flower and stamp it on this scrap paper. And then I'll just take the punch and put it upside down, line it up right over it. Hopefully, let me move it just a little bit so you can see it better. You can see that, and then I'll just pop that out. Now, that looked quick and easy, and it's certainly not difficult, but I would like to show you a little tip that I use for stamping and lining up this particular stamp set and punch. If you notice, I put a little black dot on here with a Sharpie. This flower, this petal I should say, has a little extra bump right there, and that's how I identified that one. That petal of the flower lines up with this part. You can just barely see a little extra bump there. So I went ahead and used a Sharpie and put a little mark on there as well. So the next stamp from that set that I'm using is this one here. So I looked around for the little extra bump, identified that with the dot. That way I have to think about it once and make sure I have it right, but if I mark it, I don't ever have to think about it again. I can just stamp. So when I do this, I make sure my little dot is down toward the bottom. Stamp that onto my scrap paper. May have gotten it too close to the edge. Let me do that one more time. I pulled out a tiny piece of scrap paper today. So that dotted piece was down toward the bottom, and then on my punch, the dotted one is also at the bottom. So then it should be pretty easy to line that up and pop it out. So just a little tip, just take your Sharpie. It's not anything, really huge that you need to do, but it just helps make it a lot easier. So like I said, think once and then you don't have to think again. So I'm using my bone folder again. This time I'm using it to curl up the petals, and that just gives it a little more dimension when I put this card together. Now I did want to take 2 of these. I'm going to put a dimensional in the center and peel that off. And then this one I'm just going to set and put it a little cockeyed so the petals aren't right on top of each other. Again, just to give it more dimension. Flip that over and put another dimensional on the back. And this one is going to go right in the center of this card. So I'm just going to press it down with the dimensional on that, kind of fluff those up a little bit. I already went ahead and put one of the Calypso Coral flowers together. So I'll just add a dimensional to that. And over here on the card. And then the one that I just punched out, we'll do dimensionals on that one too. Just turn it a little. It's fun to experiment with different colors. Oops, I already had one on the back there. With different colors with these flowers too. I'll show you another sample in just a moment with a different color combination. So here's my flowers, and it's very cute the way it is. Hopefully you can see some of the depth there by curling up the flowers and layering them. What I want to add next are some candy dots. These are new in this catalog. They come in each of the color collections. This is the Subtles collection, and this one is the So Saffron, which is what I used here. So I'm going to peel one of those off and use it as the center on the Calypso Coral flowers. And then I'll peel the Calypso Coral dot to use as the center of the So Saffron flower. These are just like our pearls or rhinestones if you're used to using those. The adhesive is right on the back, so you just peel it off, stick it right on. They're super easy to use, and they just add so much fun color. You can also purchase brad bases where you put one of these into the base and you make your own custom brads. Very cool to do also. So there is the completed card with the added color in the center. And here is another color combination that I used. This one again is So Saffron and Calypso Coral out of the Subtles group. And this one is with Daffodil Delight and Melon Mambo out of the Brights. So a great way to use the Flower Shop stamp set in the Pansy Punch. And don't forget to add those little dots. It'll make it so much more enjoyable and easy to use. Thanks so much for watching my video. For daily creative inspiration, visit my blog or find me on Facebook at Jody Reinert Stamps.